Danny Garcia dirty.
Yeah, man. We got.
And to get tossed there. Oh my God, that was too funny right there, bro.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
believe young Danny.
yeah. Man, we got a new radio call here, man. UTV Sports back. Love 181. Always matter, y'all. Like I said, I don't even need to really introduce them. Y'all already familiar with them.
Yep.
Another topic, man. Um, Danny Garcia. Can he really compete right now at 154? Or what about him? Let's talk about him at 154. I'll let you start it off, man.
Well, let me just tell y'all this. My guy EBTV Sports say that Danny Garcia would get tossed around. That we could just go ahead and start it off with that one. He feel like Danny Garcia is food at 154. He would get tossed around like some meat at 154. And y'all already know how I do it, man. Y'all can't talk about little Danny like that. That's little Danny. How y'all gonna do little Danny like that? We grew up watching little Danny. No, just talking shit. But it was some real shit, though. Even though I'm talking shit, I'm saying some real shit. Danny Garcia, I feel like he can carry that power up to 154. Now, is he going to be a little slower? Yes. But I feel like Danny Garcia could beat the likes of guys like, he could probably give an Harrison Lewison some trouble. Let's see. His guys out there, he can give trouble, man. What's the kid name? Jared Hurd at this point in time. Not to Jared Hurd that fought Lara. Jared Hurd didn't look the same in the wild, man. I feel like Danny Garcia, Jared Hurd don't got the power to stop Danny Garcia. Who knows, man? I know some of y'all out there is thinking like, man, you tripping weights, man. Danny Garcia will get his ass smoked by Jared Hurd. I'm just saying, Jared Hurd is easily hittable. That's what Danny Garcia likes. He likes somebody that's just stationary, somebody that's just going to be right there to be hit. And that's Jared Hurd for your ass. Now, the real question may be, can Danny Garcia pick up the title at 154? And I feel like he has a possibility at that too. So you trying to say he won't give Castano problems?
Yeah,
PBT?
yeah.
That's
I mean,
quick question.
like I said, there's probably maybe one or two fighters up there that he might be able to.
Castano.
Right. That I was just looking at him. Probably only him. I mean, you got guys like Charlos, Triple G. He get killed by Triple G. The Charlos would destroy him.
Triple G 160.
Well, yeah, 160, but he can float it to 150. He's been there 154 before, man.
Weight drain. He older now and shit like that. I think Triple G versus Danny Garcia is actually a good fight. You could make that fight. I see where you're going with it. They were talking about Manny Pacquiao versus Triple G. So they could meet in the middle at 154, maybe 155 or some shit like that. That's still a good fight. But I feel like Danny Garcia, if he wants, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like Danny Garcia is trying to reinvent his career. A lot of fighters do this. They switch trainers. That's one way of doing it. You go up in weight. That's another way of doing it. Or sometimes you go down in weight, which may be hustling backwards. But on the same token, I still see what Danny Garcia is trying to do. He's trying to start a new path at 154. And me knowing Danny Garcia and Andy Garcia for that matter, I know they are after a title. And I feel like if you want to go after a title, I don't see you beating Charlo. I definitely don't see you beating no goddamn Charlo. I feel like Danny Garcia could probably Charlo with a few things that may trouble him.
Well, I mean, if I'm Danny Garcia, don't go up to 154 because you're gonna get embarrassed. There's not many people you can beat up there. You got Triple G, Charlo. These are just because when you say 154, I'm talking about middleweights. Triple G, Charlo, Andre, Eubanks Jr., Derevchenko. He had a good fight against didn't he fight Triple G?
Eubanks Jr. way too big for that.
He's still middleweights, man. It's all these guys, like I said, Charlo brothers. There's not a lot of guys that he can compete with. I mean, he might be able to get a like I said, Derevchenko, that guy you were talking about earlier, You just said it. Said his name. It slipped off my tongue.
Who? Castano?
Yeah.
You got Castano. I think that's his best chance. Castano a champion too.
Right.
And Castano, the thing about Castano is he'll really fight with you. I fight Danny Garcia. He needs to head towards Castano. That's his biggest chance right there, and he could be a champion. I definitely don't see Danny Garcia going undisputed.
Right. Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm talking about the middleweight. These middleweights, like, I don't. Danny Jacobs has been floating to 168 lately.
Danny Garcia way too big for you naming all 168 fighters.
Right, but I mean, I'm looking at the middleweight class. Just together. I mean, because
me personally, if Danny Garcia want to show me something at 154, I feel like he would have to beat Austin Trout. Austin Trout still no easy fight for Danny Garcia at 154. If you can get through Austin Trout convincingly, then we're talking about you doing something at 154 or getting a title at 154.
I mean, I think guys like even Tony Harrison could throw around Danny Garcia. Tony Harrison is a strict 154.
I ain't gonna even look. I can see Tony Harrison beating Danny Garcia.
Yeah, right.
Like, for real.
Destroying him. So I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I won't say destroy, but I can see him beating him because Harrison. He one thing about Harrison, he don't have the best conditioning, and Harrison, he has an off button on his chin. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like Danny Garcia can't crack on one of them no look left hooks and. Maybe you gotta understand Danny Garcia going up a way, he might have some more power up there. So we can't act like he might not be able to hurt Tony Harrison. However, I do feel like that's a good fight to let us know can he hang with the big dogs. But I do consider, I'm not gonna do Tony Harrison like that. He's a former champion at 154, so I feel like he's one of the big dogs at 154. But I feel like Austin Trout will be a good fighter to let us know. Austin Trout, because I don't even know, can he be an Emerson Lar?
Nah, you can't be Lar. You know what? Throw him in there with Julian Williams.
That's a good one.
Watch him get just. It wouldn't be nice. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all.
Yo,
Julian Williams. You know what's a good fight for Danny Garcia at 154 though? The guy, the former champion that Charlo just beat. I think.
Slipping up. I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about.
What's that man name?
Charlo just beat.
Yeah.
The one that beat J-Rock. We don't even need to say it because people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it is.
Y'all know what we're talking about. The one that Charles just beat. I feel like that's a good fight with Danny. It's a good fight that Danny can win.
Rosario, yeah.
Huh?
You talking about? I think.
Rosario.
Yeah.
Danny. But me personally, I feel like Danny. He needs to. If he want a champion, man, he needs to go after Castano. That's my last final thoughts on that.
Yeah, I just think those guys are too big for him, man. I really do. There ain't really a lot for him at 147. I've not really seen a lot.
I mean, what Danny good be chasing a check? I feel like Danny Garcia there's still some good fights out there for Danny at 147. He's fighting Manny Pacquiao. Terence Crawford, that's still a good fight. Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, that's a good one. Jesse Vargas versus Danny Garcia. I don't know why he just acting like it's over for 147 and maybe over for a champion. But I feel like Danny Garcia could give guys a problem at 154. Maybe I'm gonna give him a shot at Gustavo though. But I just feel like Charlo will be too fast, too elusive.
Too big.
He'll be too much for Danny Garcia, man. I can see that.
I mean, I don't really see Danny Garcia, just getting on the top of the 154 division. I mean, I don't see why you would want to go into another division just to like beat all like the bottom feeders. Why you want to do that?
Garcia, knowing him, he gonna try to be a champion, but
he can try. Yeah, he can definitely try.
He just get Costello problems, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't see that. But Charlo's a guy to beat at welterweight. 154. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think why you would want to get in. Like, it's not really a lot of guys he can beat. That's my thing.
And that's where I have to agree with you at. I think Danny Garcia has a shot at 154, having more. I see where he's going with it. I just don't see him doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
he already a small 154, a small 147.
Yeah, like I said, he get to 154. I don't see why you want to get in there if you know you can't beat the top guys. You know, that's what I'm saying.
I think Danny Garcia feel like he can.
He can. Like I said, he can feel that way, but the reality is different.
I mean, let's be honest though, EBT. I mean, it's not like we stretching our imaginations for this to happen. Danny Garcia, he only lost one fight. I mean, absolutely clearly, and that was I thought he lost clearly to what's the kid's name? Marisa Herrera. That's another story. He lost clearly to Lamont Peterson, in my opinion. But the only fight on paper that he lost clearly, and that's Errol Spence. Because that fight with Sean Porter was close. The fight with Keith Thurman was close. You know, I thought Keith Thurman clearly won that too.
Right, but even Errol Spence, that's a classic example. Errol Spence is basically, I would say he's more of a he's a comfortable. Well, you know, he fights at 147, but Errol Spence is a 154. He's a one. He can definitely be a 154 fighter, man. He fights like he's 154. He fights the Charlos. Errol Spence fights the Charlos. Definitely.
But who could beat Errol Spence? That's what I'm saying. We have to ask ourselves.
154 could beat Errol Spence.
Yeah.
Charlo.
I think Errol Spence could beat you.
I think Charlo can beat Errol Spence. Julian Williams might be able to pull it off. Jared Hurd could pull it off.
Jared Hurd can beat Errol Spence right now.
No, I don't know about that.
Not Jared Hurd as a late. You know what? Let's just finish this one. Because that's a good subject too. How can Errol Spence? Can Errol Spence go in other two that went before? You know what? I like this one. You keep it going. Yeah. I'm glad you both.
I think, you know, I definitely think Errol.
Let me figure that one, man. That's the question.
I really do. Undisputed.
That's a good question, man.
It's definitely possible. He can definitely compete. Definitely a lot better than Danny Garcia can at 154. He fights the Charlos on a regular. He said he sparred and everything. He can compete with the Charlos. He's a bigger fighter. He got a little size on him, so he can compete.
Errol Spence at 154 though, EBT.
You said what up?
Who could beat Errol Spence at 154? We gotta talk about this. Is a good subject. I'm surprised you came up and Ben talk about this one. Who could beat Errol Spence? You say Charlo. You think Charlo could beat him, right?
Yes, Jermell Charlo can beat Errol Spence. I think it's definitely a great possibility.
All right, let me get Charlo out the way first. I know sparring is sparring, but I've heard from people that have seen the sparring with their own two eyes, Errol Spence is pushing Charlo the hell back. I heard he dropped Charlo. Not only that, it's sparring, so I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but it is a statement. And I feel like Errol Spence will go up to 154 and he will outbox or he will outpunch Jermell Charlo, man. I'm saying it here first.
Oh, it's definitely a possibility, but you know, it's definitely a possibility. But I think Charlo can also pull it off. He has the size and everything, and you know, he's definitely has power. I think he can definitely pull it off. I think basically Charlo might be the only guy that can really give Errol Spence major problems because I think Jared Hurd is a little bit too slow. Now that I'm really looking at it, man, I thought I had Jared Hurd being able to beat Spence, you know, just off size, but I don't know. I don't think he's fast enough, man.
You ever heard that far Arizona Lard can get Errol Spence some problems? Jared Hurd hasn't been the same Jared Hurd since Julian Jackson fight.
That's true. That's true. Like I said, Errol Spence.
I think Errol Spence will pick up apart right now.
Yeah, because I mean, Errol Spence is a very sharp boxer, very sharp, technically sound boxer. That's a major factor. I don't think there's anybody that Errol Spence. I mean, I think Errol Spence definitely if he wants to go up to 154, he has a reason to, because he has a lot of things he can do up there. Danny Garcia has no business at 154 at all. You know, there's about a couple guys he can beat, but he can't. I mean, I like to say the word can't, because I don't want to say he can't do anything, but it's just not likely that he's able to just go up there and pick apart 154 division, just roll through people. But Errol Spence can, yeah. He's bigger. I'm saying Danny Garcia.
We out Danny Garcia. I'm saying that I want to know that Errol Spence, can he go undisputed at 154? Because you know how much of a accomplishment that is.
Right. Well, I'm gonna give you two fighters that I think can give Errol Spence the most problem. We already established Charlo.
Right.
But I know it's well. Like I said, we've already established Charlo, and then I kind of get the names mixed up. That's what I'm trying to look now. But I think, yeah, okay. So we already established Charlo. I think Jamal could give him some trouble. Although, did Jamal move up from 154?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he was at 154, I think he can give him some problems. But his brother, Jamel.
I'm going to name you all the 154 fighters. I think you get some confused with the 160. Okay, you got Charlo, 154.
Which one? Jamel's 154, right?
Julian Williams.
Yeah, that's a guy who can give Errol Spence problems.
I agree with that one. I definitely agree with that one.
Very fast fighter, good head movement. Yeah.
But I do also feel that fight. I will say this. I do also feel that Errol Spence can break Julian Jackson down. I mean, not just say Julian Jackson. Julian J. Wright Williams. Mm-hmm. I feel like Errol Spence can break him down and still win. Okay, we got Castano. I feel like Errol Spence could beat Castano, but that's still a tough fight for Errol Spence, man. I'm not going to just give that one to him. It's a tough fight. Castano, the big dude, punching power, come forward, and Castano has a chin. Who else we got out there? We got Erickson Lubin versus Errol Spence. That's a fight for Errol Spence. I feel like Erickson Lubin to pick his ass apart too, though. A fight for Errol Spence.
Yeah.
All these guys. You got Arizona Lawrence. Now that's a fighter. Right there that could beat Errol Spence. If I had, I'm just saying, if I had.
Nah.
What? Why not?
Nah.
Only way Errol Spence, even if Errol Spence, of course I can see Errol Spence being Charlo. Don't get it twisted. But I feel like Errol Spence and Arizona Lawrence, that's a good fight, man. We talking about a fighter that is arguably undefeated. Arizona Lawrence arguably
beat Canelo, that's for sure.
Well, that's a different blog, though. But
yeah, he beat Canelo. What?
A lot of people thought he beat Hurd. A lot of people thought he beat Canelo. And these are all his supposed to be close fights. Paul Williams beat Lar, but we all know that was a goddamn robbery.
Right.
So, can Errol Spence come in this fight and clearly beat an Arizona Lar? I'm gonna say yeah, but it ain't gonna be easy, and it ain't gonna be like no clear win. I feel like it's gonna be a win where Errol Spence might drop Arizona Lar, a close fight, and that Arizona Lar just might win because not Arizona Lar. Errol Spence just might win, but I feel like prime Arizona Lar.
That's different.
Yeah, that's way different. I don't feel like he could beat I feel like a prime Errol Lenny Lar because a lot of these guys at 154 can't even beat Errol Spence in their prime. But I feel like a prime Errol Lenny Lar could get him. But even now, if Errol Lenny Lar gives him a good training camp, it would have to be a hell of a training camp for Errol Spence. I think he will give Errol Spence out of all the fighters we named, I think he will give Errol Spence out of all of them. And I would even go as far as saying even Jamel Charlo. He might give Arizona Lara may give Errol Spence the most problems, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean Arizona Lara he's a slick fighter, quick, but Errol Spence he's a very he beats these quick slick fighters because he's balanced. He does not play against he rarely plays into the opponent's plan at all. He's a balanced fighter, and he likes to control the ring and just go with the body shots and everything. And he's very, like I said, balanced fighter, and he controls the pace. That's a nightmare for a slick fighter. You know, slick fighters like you to get frustrated and everything, and have you chase after him. That's why I think Errol Spence beats a prime Mayweather. That's why I think so, because he's a very technically sound and balanced boxer. So I don't think Arizona Lara could really pull it off. And Errol Spence, he has some slickness to him too. Don't sleep on that either.
Oh, man, ain't nobody sleep on Errol Spence for his speed.
I'm just saying, slickness. People think he's just a strong boxer, stuff like that. But he has some finesse and slickness to him. But go ahead.
No, I really think when people think of Arizona Lara, that's all they think about is slickness. We've seen Arizona Lara get off the canvas and stop guys. We've seen Arizona Lara hurt guys, drop guys. We've seen Arizona Lara get off the canvas to win fights. We've seen Arizona Lara fights. My point is, Arizona Lara has faced different types of styles. And Arizona Lara can fight on the inside. Another thing, Arizona Lara, I don't feel like Errol Spence has faced anybody with the style of Arizona Lara. Now, in the ring, I may say. Now, Arizona Lara, he has faced the best of them, sparring and outside of sparring. You think about all the names that Arizona Lara has under his belt. This counts for something. Demetrius Andre, he sparred with Charlo. In my opinion, he was getting the best of Charlo in sparring. That's why I think he can be a harder fight for Errol Spence than Charlo. I feel like, but one thing about Errol Spence is he applies smart pressure. And I feel like that's one of Arizona Lara's weaknesses. Even though he has won against these types of fighters, I feel like his biggest weakness is pressure fighters. Because the reason I say that is because, and you have to think of a fight that Arizona Lara lost besides the Errol Spence fight or whatever. I mean, not the Errol Spence fight, besides the Canelo fight. Yeah. You have to never heard and the fight where he got off the canvas, he got a stoppage when he fought Angulo. So I feel like Errol Spence can win this fight, but I just feel like Errol Spence is used to facing southpaws. Errol Spence is used to facing righties. And Errol Spence, and Arizona Lara coming in this fight, he's going to be a lefty, man. I feel like Arizona Lara can really trouble Spence. But I still got, we just basically thinking of a fighter. If we could think of anybody that could give Errol Spence, a run for his money, I think that fighter is Arizona Lara. Unless he just so happened to get old.
Well, like I said, Arizona Lara could give him some problems. He's slick. He's fast. But I think the way Errol Spence can control the ring and control the pace of the fight plays a big factor in how he fights slick fighters. Errol Spence has power and everything. But, that is a fighter that can give him some problems. So, yes, Charlo and Lara and Julian J. Rock Williams. Those are the three fighters I think. I think he can definitely pull the wins off against all of them. But those are the three main fighters that gives him problems there. I don't think anybody else, man. I don't know.
That's about it right there. I got two.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
we look at Twister, I can see Jared Hurd. I could also J Rock, but I could see Errol Spence going undisputed. It won't surprise me if he did go undisputed at 160. Shit, we're gonna have even Jamal Charlo might have to come down to 154 and might see him. But let's turn it up a notch. Let me ask you this: can Errol Spence then say, you know what? Let's go up to 160 and let's do it there too. Now we're talking about Triple G. Now we're talking about Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade.
That's serious stuff.
Huh?
That's serious stuff, man. That's serious.
You remember you got Canelo Alvarez over there now.
Yeah.
So man, we talking about some serious
He can
stuff.
beat Triple G.
Huh?
I think he can. Yeah, he can beat Triple G.
I think he can beat Triple G, but that's still a hell of a fight, man.
Yeah, but I think go ahead.
I still think Triple G got a couple fights left in the tank.
Yeah, he does, but I don't think he can beat a Canelo. But Triple G, although that's a good fight, but Triple G, we got. You said Demetrius Andre might be a little bit too big. But
yeah, because that was Demetrius Andre 168, I think.
Yeah, he's 6'1" too. He's a big guy.
He 160.
Yeah, but like I said, he can definitely. Go ahead.
This is the thing, though. We don't even have to go that high, though. We can talk about a Billy Joe. I think Billy Joe 168. Yeah. We can talk about guys like a Eubank versus David Newell versus Errol Spence. Like all these fighters is good fights for Errol Spence, man. I think we need to stay at 154 for Errol Spence. 160 is a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, but don't sleep on this competition. I like a Eubanks fight. Danny Jacobs fight, all good fights for him. I think he can beat Danny Jacobs. I think he can beat Danny Jacobs.
I think Danny Jacobs is big for I don't know.
No, but Canelo and Errol Spence about the same size, man. Errol Spence might even be taller.
I think Canelo can make. I think Danny Jacobs. Well, I think they fight heavyweight, man. No lie.
He can. He definitely can. But I really. Like I said, Canelo and Errol Spence are the same size, so I really don't. I don't think that might be a problem for Errol Spence. Danny Jacobs.
Yeah, but
But I definitely like it. He can definitely consider moving up to 154.
Now I think the reason we can talk about that, I think he's gonna have to do that soon because it's looking like the Terence Crawford fight. Possibly, man. It pains me to say this, but it probably won't happen, man.
Right. Yeah. It's sad to say that, but Terence, Crawford said that himself, so I guess that just puts that in. And I think Crawford is mostly to blame for this one, man. That's what I've been hearing.
Want to talk about it?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't really know the whole promotional aspects though, But I've been hearing Crawford is mostly to blame from this one, man.
I mean, my whole thing is I kind of see what Crawford on with it, because Crawford is basically, it is annoying to chase somebody, and they seem like, well, in his opinion, he seemed like he don't want to fight. But I personally feel like Errol Spence. There's no way Errol Spence is gonna leave the welterweight division, even without facing Terence Crawford, man. Even if he go over there and face what's homeboy name? What's the cute?
Ugas, yeah.
Ugas, yeah. Even if he go, we could wait for that fight. Then we could have a mega showdown either late this year or next year. And that fight is so big, man. You could set that fight on Mexican Independence Day. Even though it ain't no Mexican fighting, well, you probably have like some Mexicans on the undercard or, something like that. But I definitely feel like Errol Spence versus Crawford is so big. You can hold that on a Mexican.
Really?
For me personally, man, I feel like that's just one of those fights. Like it's just inevitable. It's inevitable. It's like Mayweather Pacquiao, Mayweather Oscar. You know, some fights are just it has to. This is one of those fights for our generation. This is our Tommy Hearn versus Sugar Ray Leonard fight right here in the making. So
Yeah.
they need to go. Like that's my thought. I don't really gotta say much on that shit.
Like I said, man, it really just it's annoying, man, because everybody they talk about the money, the promotional stuff, bending, all this stuff. Why can't we just make the fight happen, man? I know it's not really that easy, but if both of the fighters truly, really, really want this fight, then there should be no reason why this fight's not happening. They should push the promoters to make this happen. You know, threaten to leave, do something, man. I mean, it's like these guys they don't really. I don't know if they really want that fight like that. I mean, there should be no reason why this fight shouldn't happen, man. Like,
No, and then I kind of gotta blame both because even though Errol Spence, I don't know what Errol Spence giving Terence Crawford 60-40. I feel like that's reasonable, but I also feel like Terence Crawford could just say, you know, instead of just he can swallow his pride and say, you know what, go and take the 60-40. But in a rematch, I get 60-40. You know, if I win.
right.
Bob was trying to say, what do you think about this? Bob Arum said, you know, what about 44, 20 to the last 20% to the winner?
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. Like I said, if they really burn for this fight, they really accept anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, just get it over with, man. Why y'all talking about the money? If you really want this fight, take anything and get it, and then get in the ring. I mean, it's
But
like,
I think the take anything part, I think that favors more of Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford, I mean, if he beats Errol Spence, don't you know Terence Crawford is going to be the man at welterweight? He's going to be undisputed. Yeah, you got the belt from Ugas, but that ain't nothing. We all know. I like you, Ugas, a whole lot, but you ain't messing with no Terence Crawford.
no.
So you're like food. If these guys beat each other and unify, Ugas, it pains me to say this because I really like Ugas. He's a good fighter. He arguably beat Sean Porter. You know, great fighter. But you ain't beating no Errol Spence, no Terence Crawford, man. I'm sorry.
No.
Even if Ugas do beat them, he ain't gonna beat them. And you know what I'm talking about. So he's a more marketable fighter. They gonna the best he'll be lucky to be if he's able to get a draw against Errol Spence or Terence Crawford. So they gonna take him serious too. Ugas is a guy that you can't play with. So they gonna take him serious. And he's a champion. They gonna treat Ugas shit like on the same level as if they'll do each other.
Well, like I said, you know, they gotta just, I mean, why is the fight taking so long to happen? I don't really know, man. Like I said, if the fighters truly wanted it, man, this fight could happen. They just, I don't know if they're playing around, man, but you know, I just really want to make the fight happen, man. Just make the fight happen. It should be no reason, you know, I believe if two fighters really want the fight down to the core, this fight shouldn't have any reason not to happen.
I agree 1,000%, man.
You know, so that's all I have on it, man. You think you want to say, man?
That's my thoughts on it, man. I think we killed that one.